I'm Patrick Bailey with IQlist.com. Today is August 2nd, 2018, and this is video 2 of bed thermal runaway. It has happened again. Okay, I posted a video on this a couple of days ago on the bed thermal runaway. I did a little research, figured out what it was, but at the point I had actually jiggled the cord and it kind of was back. I had it happen several times, then I jiggled the cord, it basically got working again, and it's been working for a little bit, for several days now. But now it finally came back. So I took a little video showing that indeed I got the bed thermal runaway right now. And actually, what I did, I let it sit there for a bit, and then I kind of moved it around and turned the Prusa off, turned it back on again, and then thermal bed runaway went away. And then I went to go start another print, and within a couple of minutes, bed thermal runaway again. So I'm glad I posted the last video because I got a lot of feedback on that basically said what I just rediscovered again. There's still an issue. Don't just sit there and jiggle it. Something happened. So a lot of people posted some different stuff. John Quant, I know I'm going to pronounce that bad, probably had a real good suggestion here. It said, this happened to me twice on my MK2. The first time the wires were breaking off the soldered connections on the heat bed. I cut the ends off and resoldered them to the heat bed. The second time the power connector plugged into the board showed signs of melting. I assume this was actually induced by the first failure as the strands of wire kept breaking off on one solder fix joint. I fixed this by ordering a replacement connector. So I think I could probably jiggle it again and make it work again, but I think ultimately, no matter what, it's going to fail every couple of days. So now I'm going to go through with this, take this apart, see what I can see, try to figure out where connections are happening, where flow is going through, power flow is going through, and see what I can figure out. And to the best of my ability, try to video what I can find. Hopefully I find something cool that's easy to film, like, oh yeah, wire's broken off, or there's a little bit of melt here, and I can get it fixed. That'd make for a pretty cool video, and also solve my problem. And if it just comes down to jiggling bending cords again, and I can't find what the problem is, I think probably best idea is to go into Prusa and reorder some of these, reorder some of the wires and reconnect new wires, because that'll make me feel a little better, because right now, I don't want to do a long print knowing that I'm going to keep failing every 3 or 4 or 5 prints. I don't like that idea. So with that, I'm going to go take it apart and see if I can find anything cool. Okay, well, I found some problems. So what I did, and I'll show this here, of course, I put this together so I know where things are. So I went back here, went back into the box, and disconnected everything that the bed is connected to. So here is the 2 power cords going to the bed, and also the sensor. So I was working from the theory that the way it seems to be broken now is I think the power is not connected. So what I did is I got my multimeter here, and most multimeters have some form of continuity on it, so I can basically check to see if there's a complete circuit. And so I can take that and do this, go, hear that beep, so it'll make a noise when it has a complete circuit. So as an example, I can take one of these forks and hit both sides of it. And of course the metal is connected to the metal. You can hear it, no problem. So what I did is, now that it's gotten worse, I can take this, put this on this one, put this on this one, and if it was not broken, I'd be hearing a noise, because there'd be a completed circuit. Alright? So if I hold those, eventually, that was my jiggle. So apparently I jiggled the other day and got it back in place, but it's gotten worse. But I could still... So somewhere in here, somewhere between here and where it's connected to the bed, something's gotten loose. So now I need to go, next thing is I need to go find out where it is. Okay, so I think I figured it out. So I wish I had YouTube up in front of me, because I know some people made some suggestions based on this. So these guys is where I took this all apart. Not the whole thing, but I did take the bed off. So I took all the 9 screws out and got this out. And then took that plastic piece off, which is this guy that covers that up, right? Now, where these are soldered, really nice and sturdy, you can see if I touch those, they're fine. And that makes perfect sense. But if I come back here and touch these, so I can get, it's kind of hard to hold these. So now they're touched. Now you can hear the noise. But if I start wiggling this,
Sorry, I lost my connection. It's hard to figure out how to hold this with one hand. Okay, so there we go. So it's working now, but watch, I can... Nope. So that tells me, I forget who suggested it, but basically this is just, it's a moving part. So it's been moving, and finally it kind of broke the solder or something just enough there so that's why it's, that's why it broke. So I'm going to do what they suggested, probably cut this back a little bit and pull it back a little bit and resolder it, and then I think that'll fix my problem. Also, something that I might do later, I believe after I have one of the first or second batches that came out, but they switched this part out slightly. And there might be a reason why they switched this out, so maybe I'll go get the new version of it. I'll get this back together, put it back on, because I need to print, and then I'll go print probably the updated version of this, and I bet you they did it for a reason to prevent this exact thing that just happened. So let me get this fixed. So there's your answer. That's why I got this overheat, is because just over time the connection got a little loose because this is a moving part. Okay, as I was starting to pull this apart, I found it. So as I move this, look at that. That has broken off. So that is the part that just over time wiggled loose and tore itself off. So that's the exact reason. That is the exact reason there. So over time it just wore off and basically clean broke through the wire just broke off. Okay, so I did my horrible soldering job here. So what I did is I got my soldering iron out, heated one of these up at a time, took the old one out. Well, let me back up. I cut both of them off right here. Prior, cut it off. There's a little stub there, so I heated up the solder, pulled what was left out on each one, and then I stripped off a little bit on what was left over here, flattened it out, and resoldered them both back on with my horrible soldering job, but at least it's done. So here we can see we got continuity, and over here at the end I can see I got continuity, if I can actually hold them well enough. There we go. That's just me wiggling. It's messing me wiggling. But let's just hold this, and anyway, I'm fixed now. So I think I'm good. I'm gonna go put it back all. I'll put it all back together, and then hopefully, after I get it working again, print out a new piece to replace the plastic piece back here. So that is my plan.
Okay, so after that I got it all back together and life worked just fine. So I put it back together, got it working, life was good, no problems. And then I did print out a replacement part, the newest part on the back end with the newest one. It seems to be a little bit better. It's a little weird fit right now because of the way I didn't solder very well, but it's working just fine. Then I did a little bit more lookups on some stuff. Oh, and by the way, if you might see my printer in the background, it's apart right now for a totally different reason. So I'm trying to fix another little issue. Nothing to do with this. The bed is fixed. The thermal issue is gone. Not a problem. But anyway, one thing I'm excited about Prusa is that they iterate. They find problems. They're running their own machines all the time, and they're probably getting, I hope they're getting lots of customer feedback. And so I went out to go look to see what they have right now. So I went through the instructions, and I see right now compared to when I got mine, and mine was kind of like the first or second batch of the Mark IIIs. It looks like they've changed it. So mine is soldered. The new one is not. They bolt them on. So they have they've changed the cables, because I was curious about getting new cables. Well, they don't have them because they've changed the cables. So it's a little different. And so I am just really glad they iterated it, because I knew they'd iterated the way that it holds it. Another thing they did iterate, I guess. See, there you go. New way to hold it. Another thing they did iterate too is a little plastic wrap. So I don't have this. I don't know. But they changed the board there. And they changed this guy here, which is what I printed that out, and I'm using that right now. But they also changed this. I had a little plastic wrap around there, and I guess they figured something else that was better. I don't know if that's going to help solve the problem. But I like it. I like what they do. They keep finding, if there's a problem, they try to fix it. They keep iterating. So the model is changing all the time. Not just on a yearly basis, probably on a monthly basis, I'm guessing. But I've had mine, I ordered mine last year. I didn't get it together until like January, February. But hopefully what I've done is solve the problem for years. But if I did not improve my chances, if I have to fix this every 9 months like this, I can live with that. Especially I can live with it knowing that they fixed it for the future, for future models. So now I think I'm good. You know, just like I was at a conference not too long ago with homeschoolers trying to show them what was going on. I kept telling them, you know, this is not the microwave oven yet. They're trying to get better at this, but if you buy one of these, if you get some 3D printer and you start to 3D print, you know, in your homeschool, you better be able to turn a wrench and to fix things. I would suggest that they buy the kit so they can, as they build it, they familiarize themselves with it and they're more comfortable, because it's going to, I don't want to say it's going to break. It's going to have issues. It's going to break. It's really well made, but it's not, I love what Prusa does, but it's not, I can't just print on this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 10 years and have zero problems. It's a moving part. And so, I'm excited. It's fixed. It was an interesting thing to fix. So anyway, hope this helps someone out there who might have the same thermal bed issue. And it's probably a good idea to take this apart and get it really, really fixed versus just jiggling it like I did, which is a very temporary move, which is probably, you know, it's not fixed. Just fix it. Hey, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, hey, give it a thumbs down. Also, if you like what we were doing here, subscribe to the channel by clicking the subscribe button. And lastly, have a piece of info to share? Just post a comment.